everybody, it is Casper, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about names because, as you'll may be able to tell, mainly by my social media, but I've been trying out new names. So I'm going to be explaining that process to you, like what I do, what I recommend, what I know some other people do, because that's often a big part of being trans, is finding a new name. But I do just want to point out that do not feel obligated to change your name. I know a lot of trans people who still keep their birth name and like their birth name. Names are like boy names, girl names, that's all a social construct. So if you like the name, keep it. If you don't, then don't. I have never really been a fan of my birth name. Even before I kind of went down the transgender route, it was still very like florally and feminine, and it just didn't suit me as like a person. As I've always been that tomboy. And it just never really suited me. And then I've been through a couple of names. I've tried all sorts of names. I think that's just kind of the process, really. So I have a list of 5 things, and I'm going to try and whiz through them so I don't make this video too long, but also give them the right amount of attention. So let's get started. The thing that you want to do when you think about changing your name is make a list. Make a list of all the names that you feel comfortable with. So go through baby books, there's a whole list of like websites of like baby names and things like that. Some people choose their names after their favorite fictional characters and things like that, or their favorite artists. So think about the names in the past that you've seen or read that have really stuck out to you and make a list of them. And then you can start narrowing down. So I think before you choose anything, just make a list. Thing that you want to do is show that list to your friends and family, or both, depending on who you feel comfortable talking to. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your parents about it, then don't. I know I certainly don't. I have a few close friends that I kind of test things out with, and that really helps the process. So talk to them about, hey, I've been thinking about this name, can we try it out? Or hey, do you think this name would suit me? Or things like that, and just get their input on your decision. But do remember that at the end of the day, it is your decision, it is your name, and although it's nice to have other people's support, it shouldn't be the deciding factor. Third thing is maybe ask them. Ask, like, if you're comfortable talking to your parents about it, then maybe ask them, hey, if I was this gender, or you know, if I was this, or I don't really like my name, what would you have called me? I know if I was a boy, the names that my parents have written down in my baby book, if I was a boy, it was Hector and Bart. So I definitely won't be going with those names. And my parents aren't involved in this process, and I don't want them to be. So if you don't want your parents to be involved in that process, that's fine. If you do, because obviously a lot of parents may feel a little bit left out, but again, that shouldn't be the deciding factor. They go, hey, if I was a boy, what would you have called me? Or hey, if I was a girl, what would you have called me? Or hey, what were the alternative names? You know, if you still want the same kind of, if you're AFAB and you still want a feminine name, or still want an AFAB name, then hey, what were the alternative names? Or if you're AMAB, then what were the alternative names? And see what they think, or see what they think suits you. Also asking your friends, I know I've done that a couple of times, saying like, hey, what names do you think I'd suit? And have them come up with some names, because often they come up with names that maybe you didn't think of, or maybe you haven't seen before, or, you know, try different combinations and see what works and get other people's input. But again, like I said, it's your decision at the end of the day, but it is quite nice to get other people's input and get like a third eye, I guess you could say. Now this is becoming less of a thing, and I don't know if this is just in the UK, but going to coffee shops, and when they ask for your name, like if you go into a busy Starbucks or something like that, and they ask for your name, test out that name. You know, if you meet new people, test out that name. Maybe ask your friends as well to be like, hey, can I go by this name, and just test out. You know, see how it feels saying it. I know I certainly use like social media, which is actually my next point, as that tester, just to see before you roll it out to everyone. Because the last thing you want, and this is speaking from experience, is jumping in at the deep end saying this is my name, and then a couple of months down the line a couple of weeks or even a couple of days down the line, you realizing that actually you don't particularly like that name and it gives you a little bit of dysphoria, and then you have to kind of roll it back again. And some people may agree, some people may not, but I think testing it out with a couple of friends or testing it out you know, in coffee shops and writing your name. Try writing your name down. That's often another thing that people do. Write it down, see how it looks in full, see how it feels to say, see how it feels to write down and to read. Because often, although you may like the name, it may not sit right when you say it. That makes sense. Point which again I briefly touched on previously, that I, if you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, go follow me. It's at casper.owen, EOGHAN. Test it out on social media, change your name. So either make an extra Instagram account, because the Instagram account that I have though is not my private Instagram account, it's the second one. So make a new Facebook, make a new Instagram, make a new YouTube. Test it out, you know, try different names, see what different usernames you like, go into your profile, see how you think it feels, see whether it fits you, see whether you like the sight of it, and just test it out. That's mainly the biggest thing I'd say is, you know, it is just a process of no, not that one, no, not that one, no, not that one, you know, and finally settling on the right one. I know, and I felt this as well, reading and seeing a lot of trans people who, from the moment that they know that they're trans, they know that this is their name, this has always been their name, and it just feels right. And that's not always the case for everyone, and I know that certainly wasn't the case for me. The name that I used to always go by whenever I used to play imagination play, I don't really like anymore. It doesn't sit right with me, so I won't I haven't chosen that name. But it is just a process of trial and error, and I think the most important thing that you can do is try it out, and try it out with people that understand, and try it out with people that you trust, because some people may get fed up that, oh my goodness, you've had 4 names in the past 2 days, come on, it's not that hard like this. A lot of people get annoyed, a lot of people don't like to change the way that they talk to you, excuse me, and that's nothing on you, that's on them. So I think finding a group of people, even just one person that you know and trust and that understands the process and understands how this works and is happy to try 4 names within the space of 2 days and is happy to do that and won't get annoyed, because I feel like that really helps the process. It makes it swifter, and also makes you feel better about yourself as well, makes you feel a lot more comfortable and confident doing it. And you know, but like I said, at the end of the day, it is your decision, and I don't feel that anyone should sway you or tell you what to do and what not to do. But at the same time, it's not the be all and end all. A lot of people prefer to go by their middle name, so maybe that could be something that you do. I know that I always wanted my middle name to be Owen, because it's Gaelic, and I love Gaelic names. I just love them. So yeah, that cleared it up for you guys. I hope you guys found that somewhat useful, and yeah. I am back to my normal upload schedule, so I shall see you in next week's video. Over and out. So weird, I haven't done a trans related video in ages.